The top stories tonight in Y News. House Speaker Martin Romualdez seems unfazed by the Senate's stance on the People's Initiative campaign for charter change. The Department of the Interior and Local Government reports increase in the collection of local government units after digitalization. Some senators expressed concerns that the ongoing political ruckus on charter change between both chambers of Congress may escalate into a full-blown constitutional crisis. And the World Health Organization issues a grave warning on measles, revealing a staggering 45-fold surge in infections across Europe in 2023. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Wednesday, January 24, 2024. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Hardin Delgado. First in the news. In a bold move to push for constitutional amendments, the People's Initiative for Reform, Modernization and Action, or PIRMA, expresses confidence in achieving the required 12% of the total voting population in the country within the next 3 months. This percentage is necessary to amend the Constitution through the People's Initiative, translating to 3% of each legislative district, or more than 8 million voters nationwide.
Basing it from the initial results show that we've been weeks already, and we have already gathered about 30% of the total number of signatures.
With regards to the filing, we will file it as soon as we have reached the threshold. Kailangan po namin gawin kasi kawawa naman po yung mga taong bayan na pumirma tapos hindi naman pala namin gagalawin. It is also our moral duty to do that.
The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, has reported the receipt of 998 signature forms from municipalities and cities across the country, representing 184 legislative districts out of 254. However, it's crucial to note that the proponent of the People's Initiative must file a formal petition before the collected signatures are deemed valid, adhering to the Commission's rules. Once the signature collection process is complete and the proponent successfully files the petition, the COMELEC will initiate the determination process. This involves verifying each signature, a meticulous task to ensure the authenticity of the support garnered. Following this verification, a plebiscite will be scheduled.
Wala pa pong pinafile sila. Again, bali wala pa po lahat ng signatures lahat nila dyan. Yan po lahat ng signatures ay matutulog sa mga local COMELEC namin na pinagsasubmitan po. Premature po ang lahat. And therefore, maling magsabing saan kayo kukuha ng budget, may budget pa, etc. Sapagkat wala pa naman po silang pinafile.
House Speaker Martin Romualdez appears unconcerned about the Senate's position on the People's Initiative campaign for charter change, or CHA-CHA. Meanwhile, according to Albay Representative Joey Salceda, the People's Initiative campaign has already achieved 12% of the required signatures. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
House Speaker Martin Romualdez seems unfazed by the apparent cooling of relations with the Senate regarding the push for charter change, or CHA-CHA. The leadership of the House of Representatives remains hopeful that the two chambers of Congress will unite to amend the Constitution for the further growth of the Philippine economy. This is the Speaker's response following the Senate's opposition to the People's Initiative campaign for CHA-CHA.
That is also the right, di ba? Sa kanila naman din yan kung anong sasabihin, di ba? That is the freedom of expression. I respect always the opinion of others. I may not necessarily agree. I'm ready to work with them hand in hand. As I said, we are ready to embrace the resolution of both houses, and I'm already telling everyone here that this is a welcome development if the House and the Senate can work together in unity, because that has always been the message of the President.
Meanwhile, Albay 2nd District Representative Joey Salceda revealed that the advocates of the People's Initiative or PI have already reached 12% of the required signatures nationwide concerning the proposed amendment to the 1987 Philippine Constitution. This includes the 3% of signatures needed in each district.
We have already reached the mandate of the people. So the Constitution should operate as provided.
He mentioned that the filing of the petition will soon follow, and the submitted signatures need validation from the Commission on Elections or COMELEC. This is despite the signed manifesto by senators opposing the proposed People's Initiative and the joint voting of the Senate and the House on amending the Constitution. The lawmaker also responded to allegations against the People's Initiative campaign.
Mandali naman po talagang mag-name calling, di ba? Pero yung 12.1% of the population that signed on, I think masyado naman mababaw tingin mo sa mga taong ganun. Hindi mo basta-basta mapapapirma yun.
On the other hand, Albay 1st District Representative Edsel Lagman believes that the issue of charter change or chacha has become a cause for discord between the House and the Senate. He insists that the Supreme Court should resolve whether the two chambers of Congress should vote jointly or separately on amending the Constitution. He emphasizes the need for President Bongbong Marcos Jr. to intervene and find a solution, redirecting the attention of the executive and legislative departments to the crisis in the economy, food security, inflation, and other issues the country is facing. He also emphasized that the 1987 Constitution should not be blamed for the country's crisis, but rather the flawed policies, skewed implementation of laws, corruption, and other factors. Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Department of Justice, or DOJ, told the United Nations that red tagging is never a state policy in the country. This assertion comes amid concerns raised both domestically and internationally about the impact of red tagging on human rights and free expression. Dante Almento tells us why.
United Nations or UN Special Rapporteur on Freedom of Expression and Opinion, Irene Khan, paid a courtesy call to the Department of Justice or DOJ on Wednesday, January 24. DOJ officials said that among Khan's concerns is the issue of red tagging in the Philippines. Justice Undersecretary Jesse Hermogenes Andres emphasized to the UN official that it is not a state policy nor state actors are behind it.
We explained that there is no policy of red tagging from this government. If there were individual cases that need to be addressed where red tagging happened, we ask that all of the complainants and evidence be brought forth with the Department of Justice, and we will pursue appropriate cases against those involved in red tagging.
During the past administration, red tagging, particularly against those critical of the government, was a burning issue after the alleged victims raised concerns or fear in their lives. Meanwhile, the DOJ also revealed to the UN rapporteur that there are existing mechanisms and programs the current administration is implementing. This is to uphold and protect fundamental human rights, such as those of media practitioners. The DOJ officials clarified that based on their investigation, not all media killings were job-related.
We explained that not all of these killings have a direct relation to press freedom or freedom of expression. What we have discovered is while they are media personalities, the reason behind their death are really personal vendetta or money controversies, money issues, or even, a love triangle.
Dante Almento, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, conducted a stress test on the automated counting machines, or ACMs, from the South Korean firm Miro Systems Company Limited. During the test, 1,000 ballots were continuously fed into the machines for several hours to assess their functionality and reliability.
Titignan natin yung maximum capacity niya kung kaya niyang abutin yung 1,000 nang hindi nagbe-breakdown.
The focus was also on the battery performance, which proved to last for over 12 hours of continuous usage during the stress test. According to the poll body, there have been no reported problems encountered during the stress test, indicating a positive outcome for the South Korean ACMs.
Ang baterya po kasi ay dapat merong minimum na at least 14 to 16 hours. Why? Ang botohan po natin kasi pag automated elections 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's 12 hours. At ano pa, bakit kailangan mahigit sa 12 hours? Di ba po meron tayong early voting hours na 5 a.m. So at least 14 hours po yan.
If Mirror Systems passes both the stress test and meets the requirements set by the Commission, they stand to be awarded the multi-billion pesos contract for the 2025 midterm election system, which includes the automated counting machines. The Department of the Interior and Local Government reported the positive impact of the digitalization in the local government units. According to DILG, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. wants to fast-track the implementation of digitalization in the government. Nelman Buhok details why.
The Department of the Interior and Local Government or DILG said that the compliance of local government units or LGUs to digitalize and streamline their services will help increase their revenue collections. DILG Secretary Benhur Abalos reported that one of the impact of ease of doing business is the increased number of registered businesses.
This is the impact of the ease of doing business. Kung titignan nyo, no 2018, up to 4.7 ang number of registered business, no, nag-increase from 1.3 million to 4.7 million. Ganong katindi because of all of these reforms na ginawa.
He added the increase in revenues collection of the LGU from local business taxes, fees and charges to 208 billion pesos in 2022 compared to the recorded 50 billion pesos in 2018. Meanwhile, the Department of Information and Communications Technology or DICT is planning to double the number of Wi-Fi sites in the country this year under the Broadband ng Masa program to support the implementation of ELGU by the DILG.
I think planong doblehin yung number ng free Wi-Fi, especially sa mga LGUs po na nangangailangan talaga ng connectivity para ma-implement din po itong tinatawag na ELGU.
DICT Undersecretary David Almirol Jr. cited reports that there are 25,000 sites for free Wi-Fi before the end of 2023. As of December last year, a total of 921 LGUs or 60% are already compliant with the call for digitalization or automation of services. Of this figure, 799 LGUs use the ELGU system, while 122 localities have their own systems. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, we serve the people, we give glory to God.
Philippine National Police Chief Police General Benjamin Acorda Jr. emphasized the importance of unity and duty as the police force launches the Bagong Pilipinas campaign in Camp Crame. Addressing police officers, General Acorda urged them to combat hate crimes and reaffirmed their duty to protect the citizenry. The Bagong Pilipinas campaign appears to be a call for positive change, emphasizing a commitment to upholding peace and order in the country.
The Bagong Pilipinas aims to promote a stronger economy, united governance, and vibrant communities. As law enforcers and promoters of peace, our mission is to serve the strength and guidance in building a more just and prosperous society. Under my leadership, we will prove that the National Police Force is a partner of the government in promoting progressive and united, I say united nation.
Acorda underscored the pivotal role of the Philippine National Police in safeguarding the peace and order, emphasizing its significant contribution to the overall improvement of the country's economy.
And for the news abroad, Turkey's parliament has given the green light to Sweden's NATO membership bid after a lengthy debate, marking a significant step towards strengthening the alliance. Joselito Liquidor will tell us the details live. Yes, Joselito, good evening.
Good evening, LC. Turkey's parliament has granted approval to the North Atlantic Treaty Organization or NATO membership bid of Sweden following a 4-hour debate. The accession protocol received 287 votes in favor, 55 against, with 4 abstentions. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan is expected to sign the bill, ending a 20-month delay. Swedish Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson expressed positivity after the vote, stating that Stockholm is now one step closer to joining the alliance. Finland became NATO's 31st member last April, strengthening the alliance's eastern border with Russia. Sweden and Finland, once neutral during the Cold War, shifted their stance due to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Erdogan's initial resistance to the Sweden's NATO bid focused on concerns about Stockholm's acceptance of Kurdish groups deemed as terrorists. In response, Sweden tightened anti-terrorism measures, addressing Erdogan's worries about the Kurdistan Workers' Party or PKK. The Turkish Parliament's Foreign Affairs Committee approved Sweden's bid last month, and Erdogan, while demanding US F-16 fighter jets for Turkey's Air Force, sought confirmation that Sweden's NATO accession would facilitate the process. United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken reaffirmed the US commitment to Sweden formally joining the alliance during a recent visit to Istanbul, emphasizing that Sweden has met its commitments. Back to you, Elsie.
Thank you, Joselito Liquidor, reporting live from Malaysia. In a significant political development, there is a growing anticipation that former United States President Donald Trump may emerge as the frontrunner in the upcoming New Hampshire primary. Following his victory in New Hampshire, the likelihood of Trump becoming the official Republican nominee in the upcoming elections has significantly increased. Adding to his momentum, Trump also secured votes in Iowa. Trump's substantial lead in the primaries has led to a series of endorsements from former rivals such as businessman Vivek Ramaswamy, Governor Doug Burgum, Senator Tim Scott, and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. With the next primary scheduled in Nevada, Trump stands as the sole Republican candidate, and on February 24, the primary in Nikki Haley's home state of South Carolina will take place. Over the weekend, Trump held a rally in South Carolina where he was joined by nearly all statewide elected officials, showing their support for his candidacy.
Amid the ongoing political ruckus on charter change from both chambers of Congress, some senators are worried that this may lead to a constitutional crisis. This report will tell us why. Several lawmakers in the Senate are dismayed with the ongoing push for People's Initiative from the House of Representatives. For some senators, this has sidelined the resolution of both houses number 6 filed in the Senate, which seeks to amend certain economic provisions of the Constitution.
Walang matinong kausap. Isusulong natin yun with the premise na ihinto rin nila yung PI na ginagawa nila. Ngayon, hindi nila hinihinto. So bakit pa? Ano pang gamit nung kuwan na yan? Basta huwag niyo kaming saksakin sa likod. Wrong move kayo eh. Nung una yung pasok, yung amendment ninyo is kakapunin niyo kaagad na Senado.
Bothered by the continued push for the controversial People's Initiative, which proposes to make the upper and lower chambers of Congress vote jointly in amending the charter, Senator J.B. Ejercito is worried that this might lead to a crisis.
If both houses do not agree and we have a constitutional crisis, talaga magkakaroon tayo ng ano rito, ng deadlock. No? Baka wala mapas na bills, it will definitely affect the process of lawmaking. Both houses have to honor what has been agreed upon.
To prevent a potential political crisis, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian believes President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. can help by speaking about the matter.
At ang kinakatukutan ko sa isang political crisis, walang batas ang ma-approve. Baka yung budget hindi rin ma-approve dahil nagbabangayan eh. No? At pag yan ang nangyari, maraming serbisyo ang masasakripisyo. Mahalaga rin na ang Pangulo natin gamitin niya yung kanyang boses para maiwasan itong potential political crisis.
For his part, Senate Minority Leader Aquilino Coco Pimentel urges the Senate to question before the Supreme Court the Commission on Elections' acceptance of signatures from the People's Initiative marked by alleged bribery.
What is your business receiving all these papers with signatures? Sinasabi nila, they have a ministerial role to play as of the moment. Based on what? On a law already characterized by the Supreme Court as insufficient to support a people's initiative.
Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God. The Land Transportation Office, or LTO, has officially canceled the deal regarding a donation of 4 million pieces of plastic cards by a private group, raising eyebrows and sparking questions about the circumstances surrounding this decision. JP Nunez will tell us why.
The Land Transportation Office, or LTO, has shed light on the cancellation of a deal involving the donation of 4 million plastic cards by the Philippine Society of Medicine for drivers. According to LTO Chief Assistant Secretary Attorney Vigor Mendoza, the Office of the Solicitor General, or OSG, has provided a legal opinion stating that the LTO can indeed utilize the donated plastic cards. However, due to the absence of existing guidelines on the utilization of donated cards for printing driver's licenses, the LTO has opted to cancel the deal. ASEC Mendoza explained that the Department of Transportation needs to release guidelines that incorporate the OSG's opinion. This, he emphasized, is to ensure transparent utilization of the donated plastic cards, preventing any favoritism towards specific groups during distribution.
Para klaro tayo, you're donating the cards, ito gagawin namin dyan. To ensure transparency and make sure that there is no group that will be favored in the distribution of these cards. So, gusto natin, so in doing so, talagang mababago yung kontrata, maka-cancel talaga.
Currently, the LTO is left with just over 200,000 plastic cards, sufficient for approximately 2 weeks. The agency remains uncertain about issuing paper licenses come February. However, they express optimism in stabilizing the supply of plastic cards in the remaining days of the month. Exploring various options, the LTO is considering government-to-government transactions for obtaining plastic cards. Additionally, they hope that the court will lift the injunction order on 3.2 million plastic cards currently under bidding. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has approved a 3-month extension for the consolidation of public utility vehicles, or PUVs. According to the Presidential Communications Office Secretary Cheloy Garafil, the decision to extend the deadline until April 30, 2024 was made following the recommendation of Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista. This extension is aimed at providing an opportunity for those who had expressed their intention to consolidate but were unable to meet the previous cutoff. The Presidential Communications Office emphasized that the extension is intended to be a fair chance for those who had shown interest in consolidation but faced challenges in meeting the initial deadline. In a bid to prioritize the well-being of students and foster a positive learning environment, Vice President and Education Secretary Sara Duterte has launched 2 new programs today as part of her Matatag agenda. Gladys Tuabi will tell us why.
In a concerted effort to focus on the health and well-being of students, the department launched today, January 24, the School Mental Health Program and School-Based Feeding Program. under the leadership of Vice President and Education Secretary Sara Duterte.
Kaya napakahalaga po na bigyan natin ng importansya ang kalusugan at mental health. Kalusugan sa pag-iisip ng ating mga kabataan, ng ating mga learners.
The School Mental Health Program, or SMHP, is focused on strengthening the mind and insight of students when it comes to different situations. This includes ensuring that children who need them receive guidance and psychosocial services. According to Education Secretary Vice President Sara Duterte, the budget allocated here is double, where they want to address not only the mental health of the students, but also the school teachers.
We were also able to increase the mental health budget for 2024 to 200 million pesos, double the previous amount. This will help our schools psychologically safer with plans to add mental health services to our learners, telesafe hotline, and establish mental health teams in each region. Kaya napakahalaga din na magawa din natin ang mental health programs para sa ating mga teaching kawani ng Department of Education.
Also today was the kickstart of the School-Based Feeding Program, or SBFP, where hot meals and nutritious food products, or NFPs, are returned with milk to address undernutrition in children from kinder to grade 6 level.
We also recognize the importance of nutrition in students' motivation. For 2024 to 2025, our budget has doubled to 11.7 billion pesos, making each meal more cost-effective. This has earned recognition from global organizations, highlighting the Philippines as a leader in school health and nutrition.
Vice President and Education Secretary Duterte underscored the significance of addressing both the mental and physical health of students, reinforcing the commitment to enhancing existing programs to better respond to the needs of the educational community. Gladys Tuwabi, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
In other global news, Israel is reportedly preparing a 2-month truce proposal aiming for the release of Hamas captives. The country, however, is hoping for a successful deal without the need to end the war. Ryuji Sasaki will tell us why live. Yes, Ryuji?
Good evening, Elsie. Due to intensified combat in southern Gaza, along with heightened pressure on the Israeli government to bring captives home, Israel, together with the United States, are optimistic in concluding a deal to release prisoners without ending the war in Gaza. The proposal is said to include a 2-month truce, at which time all Israeli detainees in Gaza will be released. Israeli military would withdraw for some areas of Gaza, but the war will not be ended. United States White House are willing to support an extended humanitarian pause in the enclave to ensure the release, as well as bring aid in. Spokesperson John Kirby disclosed that the length of the pause needed to get the hostages out are part of discussions on the possible hostage release deal. Qatar is also mediating in ongoing serious negotiations between Israel and Palestinians, notwithstanding the circumstances on the ground, according to Qatar Foreign Minister spokesperson Majed Al-Ansari. According to reports, the deal will consist of releasing captives in 3 to 4 stages, starting with women and those aged over 60. The second phase would be the handover of female soldiers and men deemed as non-soldiers by Hamas. Thirdly, male soldiers and bodies remain inside Gaza will be released. On the other hand, to allow Palestinians to return home, Israeli soldiers could be redeployed away from some urban areas. A lingering question is, what do the captives expect to return to? The Palestine Red Crescent Society said that its headquarters in Khan Yunis has been shelled, which coincided with intense gunfire from Israeli drones, resulting in injuries to individuals seeking safety in their premises. United Nations agencies and aid groups have also warned about the growing threat of disease and famine in Gaza, where an estimated 7.1 million people have been displaced from their homes. Such situation intensifies the urgency of the cessation of fighting and dialing down the conflict. On top of this is the pressure from families for the return of captives, along with recent troop losses. On Tuesday, January 23, 2024, Israel military reported losing at least 21 soldiers from one of the deadliest attacks its troops since the war began on October 7, 2023. Back to you, Elsie.
Thank you, Ryuji Sasaki, reporting live from Japan. The World Health Organization has issued an urgent warning about measles after reporting 42,400 infections that occurred across Europe in 2023, a nearly 45-fold increase from 2022 with 941 cases registered. Parents are urged to have their children vaccinated with the measles, mumps and rubella or MMR vaccine in 2 doses to protect them and to halt the spread of the disease. NHS England reports that more than 3.4 million children under 16 years old are unvaccinated and are at risk of becoming sick from the disease. 41 countries out of 53 from the WHO Europe region has reported cases in the infectious disease. Measles is a serious illness that often starts with high fever and rashes and can be easily spread through coughs or sneezes. Its complications can be severe and could also lead to pneumonia, meningitis, blindness, and seizures. A United Nations expert has expressed their concern over the alarming and distressing treatment of climate protesters in the United Kingdom. Mavian Dog will tell us why.
Peaceful environmental and climate protesters in the United Kingdom are facing prosecution and are experiencing harsh bail conditions under the new legislation, which has caused a severe impact on fundamental human freedoms. According to reports received by the United Nations Special Rapporteur on Environmental Defenders, Michelle Forst, defendants were banned from explaining the motivation behind their protest, including mentioning the climate crisis, fuel poverty, or the U.S. civil rights movement in court. Mr. Forst described the new UK laws as regressive and draconian, as they give police more power to stop protests and can be used to criminalize peaceful demonstrations and to sentence protesters to prison. Meanwhile, the UK Home Office stated that while protesting is a part of democracy, the law-abiding majority's right to go about their daily lives must also be protected. Mavian Dog, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
In a tragic event, the death toll has risen to 31 in the aftermath of a land collapse in Yunnan Province, China. Rescue efforts are now underway as responders strive to locate the 24 individuals still missing, all while facing the challenges of sub-zero temperatures. The catastrophe was triggered by a landslide resulting from the collapse of a steep ravine, according to initial investigations. The incident prompted the evacuation of other 500 residents, with nearly 1,000 rescuers tirelessly working in challenging conditions to conduct search and rescue operations. The harsh sub-zero temperatures only compound the difficulties faced by both the victims and the rescuers on the ground. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Elsie Marcos, live from Auckland, New Zealand. Good evening.
Our kasambahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity from Monday to Friday, 9:30 p.m. Philippine time through the social media accounts of Members Church of God International. And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 7, it says, "Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord, and depart from evil." And those are the reasons behind the news, January 24, 2024. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. Because we need to know. We will always ask why. I'm Harleen Delgado. We serve the people. We give glory to God.